Welcome back to the Agweek Podcast. I'm your host, Al Winmill. I'm here with Amy and Tony Fast from Fast Ag, Montana. Thanks for being here in Fargo with us.
Yeah, thanks for having us out.
What do you guys think of Fargo so far? How's it treating you?
There's a few more people here than the farm.
You think so? We were talking a little bit about that. You guys are about as rural as it gets.
Yeah, I would say so.
Kind of feels that way.
The Bermuda Triangle of as far away from a Starbucks and large population centers you can get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like, I enjoyed walking into Walmart last night to grab a few things.
That's hilarious.
Said nobody ever.
You know,
Well, it's just there's everything you need there.
during the pandemic, my daughter is young. I think she's 4. We drove by Walmart, and she remembered going there to pick out shoes one time. And we drove by Walmart. She says, "I've been there." Like it was Disneyland or something. You know, everything was shut down and all that stuff.
That's funny.
Anyway, no, it's great to have you here for the Crary Full Pod event. We're
Yep.
excited for the second year. We missed you last year. Glad we get the chance to get to know you here with the podcast ahead of the event tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's get started and learn a little bit about your farm, and then we'll talk a little bit about what you're doing on YouTube and your work with Crary. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Tell us where you're located. How's that sound? We talked about it being rural, but how rural?
We're in northeast Montana. We're about 100 miles from North Dakota and 40 miles from Canada, 50 miles from Canada. So up in the corner, Montana. Generation 4? Yeah, we're the generation 4 on the farm.
The girls are 5, yeah.
5. We're
awesome.
family homestead yet, so
That's amazing.
back 1916 is when we were homesteaded. So
Wow. What do you guys grow?
wheat, winter wheat and spring wheat, durum, canola, lentils, chickpeas, yellow peas.
You've dabbled in some others.
A little bit of corn. Tried some soybeans. Getting out of the alfalfa hay game though.
Really? You guys have any livestock?
Just some butcher cows we finish for ourselves and neighbors or whoever.
That's nice.
Whoever's looking. So good way to use up hay and some screenings from clean and seed.
And you guys aren't very close to a grocery store, so it's nice to.
Yeah, have a full freezer
little beef,
or
right?
2.
Yeah.
Amy and I were talking. We have some chickens
Yep.
too. You have a bunch or
Like,
backyard?
just enough to keep our family egged up.
Perfect.
And then some.
And some, but yeah.
Not like we're selling them or nothing.
Eggs.
So do I. We have a little flock, and it keeps getting smaller in our backyard. But they're lazy
You should have
freeloaders.
told us. We could have brought a few. over.
Refresh me up a little bit. I think we're
We've
down
been
to
gone a lot this month, so we've got a big stockpile.
a whole bunch of them. We have we're getting like 1 or 2 eggs a day right now. It's kind of
Oh,
slim pickings, but
I think we're getting like 10 or 12, so it's plenty.
it's a lot closer to a grocery store for us though. So
Yeah.
we're not too worried about it.
That's funny.
Who else? Who do you have on the farm? I know we talked a little bit about finding help on the
Yep.
farm, being as rural as you are. Who does what?
Dad's still around seasonally. They take off in the winter for Phoenix.
Good for
and then it's just Tim's our full-time hired man. He's been with us for over a year now. And girls help harvest time.
How old are they?
10, 12, and 14.
Perfect.
So the older
Built-in
two-
help.
Yeah, the older 2 started driving grain cart this year. So
That's awesome.
and they've been movers, helping us move
Yeah.
equipment for a while and flag for us. So farm kid stuff.
That's perfect.
But
That's awesome.
Built-in help. I'm giggling because I'm like, that doesn't mean they're willing.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. But so you could turn off the Wi-Fi or something.
Yeah, no, they're
Have a
good
little more
actually.
control. That's
they do really
awesome.
good. Well, this is the first year they've been paid,
Oh, that's gotta
Yeah.
help.
so that I think will continue to motivate them a bit more.
Be like, hey,
I, on the other hand, I'm still waiting for a check. Just kidding.
you gotta fill out one of them W-2 things or W-4 things first, then I can.
yeah, make it tougher at tax time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What would you say the single biggest issue is on your operation?
Well, besides rain or lack of rain,
It's pretty dry.
yeah, we're
Always
really
or
dry.
just recently?
We're always on the drier side,
Okay.
but then we'll have a year of some prevented plant stuff, but it's really rare.
Okay.
But dryland farming, that's kind of how it goes. But finding like help that wants to move that rural
Sure.
is what's tough, and then just a lack of housing to house. Like if you want to hire someone that's married with kids, because they're not just going to leave tomorrow. If you can,
They got roots and
yeah, you hire
other people to think about. Yeah.
hire an 18-year-old, they can be gone tomorrow. So like to find a house that suits them, space that they need, that's probably the biggest. Would you say the biggest thing right now we would probably deal with?
Yeah,
we're
we are
blessed with
very
a great,
blessed.
great hired man
Tim is
right now.
awesome.
That's huge.
But to keep them, I'd like to get them to a nicer place or something that would suit their needs better.
Right.
That's just
No,
hard
that
to
makes
do
sense.
it. So
Makes perfect sense. Well, and having the girls, that's, again, huge. That's a big asset, but, they'll grow up and have other stuff to do. Luckily, they're there now and
Yeah.
helping, but.
Yeah. And they're just getting more and more capable.
Right.
They've seen
more
slowly over
responsibilities
years.
and-
Yeah. So,
That's
and it's
awesome.
good. There's nothing like saying when you get out into the workforce, I grew up on a farm. People are like, oh, we were going to consider you right away just
Right.
because you have that work ethic. And
Make
Yeah.
decisions and.
I experienced that myself. Yeah.
Really?
In my first job ever as a teacher, you grew up on a farm in Nebraska? They hired me just because knowing that was my background over veteran teachers that they could have brought in.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I guess learn a lot, wear a
Yeah.
lot of different hats. There's
Yeah.
all sorts of things.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You guys use Crary products. Let's talk a little bit about how those have helped your farm, the impact that you've had from the Crary products that you use.
yeah, we couple things we did this year with Crary was we put the golden cut system on our swather, and it was time to change guards and do everything. So we did the whole system, and really helped. Nice, clean cut, quiet. Probably the quietest sickle I've ever heard. Just with their positive hold downs, where other ones don't necessarily put the pressure down to hold them down. So that was really nice. Good. That got us through hay season real well. And then air bars.
Yeah.
We got 50-foot macdons, and cutting chickpeas or any of that stuff, even beardless wheat,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, where those heads will fall, are all tied together with the beards and stuff to keep pulling them in. Putting that reel out in there, that air bar in there to push everything into the header, just helps with getting every crop we can in the bin.
That's awesome.
So
I associate the air bars with soybeans. Like that's a
Yep.
big one that just where I live here in the Red River Valley, and that's just what we see. But it's cool to hear the other crops that it works on.
we even used them for cutting corn this year.
How did that work?
Just we planted corn on 24-inch row space with our air drill, put it through our mid-row banders, and so the 12-inch space on the air bar worked well.
Oh, okay.
Just going between them, and they were on the head. It's short dryland corn. We rolled the cornfield after we planted it, so the rocks were all down, so we could cut them like we were cutting soybeans.
Yep.
And then that air bar just kind of helped keep any of the cobs on the cutter bar to the end of the field if they were laying there.
That's
So,
awesome.
More uses we find every year for it, I guess.
That's awesome.
But chickpeas was the main reason we bought it.
Sure.
And if we raise lentils, they work really well in lentils as
Okay.
well. So kind of all the pod crops
Yep.
I'm thinking of.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. That's really cool. It's good to hear.
Yeah.
What would you say the biggest impact to your farm success would be? I know help is a big thing, but equipment or weather's probably a big one. But what would you say?
I don't know. I think that's everything goes together.
No
we
one
gotta-
thing is going to make or break you.
No, I think it takes, everything fits together. You got bad years, you got insurance that helps get you through those years. If
Yep.
you got good years, you hope your equipment's all running right to get you there, and weather, and
I think diversity.
yeah.
Tony it's taken me a long time because I love change and adapting, but he is very skilled in many areas. And so, like, we're going to bring cows back on the farm, and to see the way, that's kind of impacted. Granted, it's not a huge additive, but for a while there, Tony was building, he went to welding school and stuff, and he was building hopper bottoms. And that really kick-started, I would say, your success.
Yeah.
But
Using
he's-
outside income to kind of start the
Yeah.
farming process and stuff.
Sure.
Because
He's got a-
when I came back, the farm was 5,000-6,000 acres. And Dad and Grandpa were living off of that. I come into it, there wasn't enough land for me to farm off that too. So I set up a pickup in the oil field. We were doing rig maintenance. So a
Okay.
neighbor was a welder. He hired me on with my own vehicle, or my old pickup out there. And we would go fix oil rigs between moves if they were changing stuff or whatever, just random maintenance stuff. Then that kind of turned into gone too much, need to be closer to the farm because we were traveling 100 miles to get to the oil field.
Okay.
And then got into fabricating the shop, and we started building hopper bottoms and did that for 3 years. And that was we bought a farm then, Amy and I did, and
Okay.
that was when like that income kind of helped us get started, get us through some of the drier years, and that farm just keeps growing
That's
from
awesome.
that. So
I think you're just always looking for ways to, what else could I do to bring in a little bit more? And
Yeah.
like, he polishes wheels on the side. He has a wheel polishing machine. And
Okay.
between that and the cows, and he's fabricating things for people all the time.
Yeah.
Doesn't love doing that just because it takes a lot of time, but
I know
I
you're
don't
far away from a grocery store. How about a parts store or implement
Same
dealership?
thing,
Same
yeah.
thing.
Amazon.
Amazon and
Yeah.
making your own whenever you can.
Yep. Or hey, who's in town today? On
yeah.
text someone
okay.
and they can pick up some parts or whatever. And
Yeah.
It's good to have a good community to.
yeah, yep, that helps. Or we're going to town. Anybody else needs something? Or
Yep.
you just look and see whose parts are on the counter that need to go somewhere.
I
Grab
can
theirs
get
too.
these.
Yeah.
That's great.
So
How do you find time with all the running around, farming, kids to make videos?
oh, we're way behind right now.
Are you?
Seems like we've been
You got a
busy and
backlog?
gone, and like we're a month behind on,
Whatever.
on
Like,
footage.
yeah.
We find time when we like it's not a main focus. It's
Yeah.
when we got time to do it. We'll
Okay.
get some videos edited and stuff, and you kind of go through spells where you're like, oh, I don't really feel like videoing today. And it might be like 3 or 4 days. Like I probably should start filming again.
Sure.
So
It's kind of nice to not feel like a slave to something
It's not the
else.
farm focus.
Right.
Like it's like we can take a camera with us and catch stuff as we're doing it if it's not an inconvenience. But we're not going to go set up a camera, take 10 minutes to get everything just right. Like it's you get what you get.
Right.
Like we're not a production. I don't have
It's a
someone
real deal.
filming, someone
Yeah.
editing for me.
Yeah.
It's just more like if you were standing next to me doing this is what it looks like.
Yep.
So
That's the real thing. That's the real, you know, like
yeah.
it makes sense.
yeah.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah, we get behind sometimes. I try to do videos as much as I can
Yeah.
during harvest if I'm around or not, if, not in the combine, but seeding. But then otherwise I'm like, it's on you, babe.
Yeah.
And he does a really good job, but I'll still pitch in here and there. And I don't know. I think you're never going to please everyone.
Right.
And you haven't even asked this yet, but the reason we got into it, that was more him. And I'm like, you're going to do what? Okay. But that is always my life. Tony, you're going to do what? It's always successful. It always does well. But I think the opportunities that we've seen because of this, like Crary itself, or the people that we've been able to meet, has been the most amazing piece of it.
The people you've helped connect with and
Yeah.
tell your story and that
Yeah.
type of thing, the real version of your story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, we always giggle because we love Jesus. And so we don't hide that faith whatsoever. And I think if people don't like us, you don't have to watch. If you
Right.
are mad because we are a month behind, you don't have to watch.
Right.
Like, whatever. We're not out to make huge bucks on this whatsoever. That just happens to be a perk that, because we're making something, we'll continue. But otherwise, I'd probably say, can we be done?
Yeah, we're kind of at the point where we're too
So-
far into it to quit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, but someday it's gonna quit. I'm sure.
Sure.
It's just not gonna go on forever.
Yeah.
But like,
Or evolve.
'Cause it's-
You never,
yeah.
Yeah.
you can't tell the
That's a
future
nice
there,
word.
but-
That's a nice
Right.
word. Yeah.
yeah, YouTube might dwindle off, and it just might be Instagram stuff like we're already doing might continue. But it's
Correct.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's not.
It's been really a neat adventure.
No.
Yeah, but it's not our focus.
Right.
Yep.
Like you said, it's a perk. And it's another way to diversify the farm. It's another income
Oh
stream.
yeah, and it helps out with. I mean, there's definitely stuff. Some companies just give you stuff.
Sure.
Here, use our products, and
I haven't had to buy a hoodie for years.
Oh yeah, like we're to the point of we are throwing stuff like
to neighbors and our
stuff that-
best friends.
yeah,
and
like,
yeah.
give stuff away, or like, okay, you've already washed that hat 3 times, you can probably throw it away fine.
Right,
You have plenty of other ones to replace it. But yeah, just the opportunities to try new stuff from different companies, and like honestly, from the company standpoint, that's like probably the best marketing and the cheapest marketing they're going to do.
Sure.
Is to put it in someone's hands and actually see it used. So
Right.
I don't know. It's it's been a blessing to the farm in that way.
Yep.
But
Who would you say your channel's reaching? And then is that what you expected and is that what you want?
I don't know. It's hard to tell. The,
I think it's
the
middle-aged.
analytics is the middle-aged and older
Men.
men.
Okay.
I think a lot of them are
Former.
guys that grew up on a farm, or maybe they're a farm kid, now they're a truck driver, whatever they're doing now.
They have a
and
connection.
and they're like, oh, that's how it's done now. Or, like, oh, I remember doing it that way. Or it just changes. The last video had some of Tim's milk cow stuff in there, and there's a lot of comments about growing up milking cows.
Okay.
So
is that what you base it on, or is there analytics that show you?
There's analytics too.
And the comments and
So the analytics wouldn't tell professions necessarily, but just give you age and that kind of thing. But to go, get the comments, you kind of can figure out who people are. And
I don't know if we had a target audience in mind.
We kind of just started it all because, I seen some of Zach's videos. I'm like, oh, he's in corn and bean country. We're a completely different farm.
Way different.
Let's show what's going on here. And then, I don't know, all of a sudden there's 100 channels or 200 channels out there, and you're like, wow, this is getting saturated, but yet we keep growing.
People still watch.
People watching, and we're showing what we're doing, so people kind of understand what happens on the farm today. And they're every farm's different, so I think that's why everyone kind of has their space, and it works.
How does going to farm shows work for you guys to get fans stopping you?
Somewhat. Our channel's
Do you go to a lot of
huge.
farm shows? Are you close to?
Depends on what time of the year they are.
Sure.
And that's what's crazy because corn and soybean farmers are in a different schedule than we are in northern Montana with our crops. And so they'll have shows. Like this year during harvest, Tony did run where? I can't remember. Husker Harvest Days in
After
Nebraska.
harvest got over, I made it to that. I was supposed to go to the farm progress show.
Something in the middle I think you escaped for, and it was like, oh, that was kind of tough. But
Yeah,
he
the
tried
farm
it. Probably
progress
won't do that
show.
again.
Okay.
Didn't make
Whatever.
it. So,
I don't know.
but Denver Airport, someone yelled my name. It's really weird.
I
Like that.
have always said,
You know me.
I love the size that we are because I like the incognito that still is. We're just, regular Joes. But I feel for some of those, like Zach and Becky and Chet and Duggo, we love them. The Welkers too. They're all good friends of ours. And but I can't imagine that kind of thing. We're also a long ways off the beaten path.
Correct. You don't run into
And that
people
is
that
really nice.
Yeah.
Yep. Really nice.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah, we were at in Canada 2 weeks ago for a Hunter Brothers concert, and of course, their Hunter Brothers are a farm family that sings country music, and a bunch of farmers at the show, and you get recognized and stuff like that. You never know.
Right.
We were in Cancun last year, and people next to us at the pool were recognized us that they farmed in Canada. It's weird.
That's really cool though.
Yeah.
Do you guys like the spotlight? I know you said it's nice being where you're at, but it's
I love getting to know people.
Sure.
And it's one of those things it's not my channel. I'm not showing my daily life. I don't think I want to get to know them too. And I'm okay with where we're at. I don't love
It's not
the
really
spotlight.
conversation. It's
That is the beauty of it, to really get to know someone or just
The weirdest thing is
their
people
perspective.
know us from watching the channel.
Yeah.
Sorry, we don't know who you are.
Right.
And if they want to come visit the farm, sorry, I don't know who you are. That's a
little
little weird.
It's a little weird.
That part of it's.
My favorite was the girls and I had gone to we do pony club with our horses and stuff, and we had gone to an event in Helena, which is kind of the opposite corner of the state.
Yeah.
And we're in Costco, and Tony was not along. It was just the girls and I, and we were in Costco checking out. And the lady at the checkout just kind of said, "Farm hard, pray harder."
That's
all she said.
Yeah. In the videos.
She's like, "I watch you guys' videos." I'm like, "You know us? Tony's not even here." But then she went on to tell me she loves gardening, and her daughter had made her a plaque that she hangs in her garden that says "Garden hard, pray harder." Just
really
because of that, I was like, "Oh, that is really neat." Thanks for saying hi. But usually I'm like, "Oh, I don't know." You never know.
Right.
Yeah.
There's some creeps out there too.
I can
So-
only imagine how that part goes. But
Yeah.
No.
You run. Yeah.
what about work-life balance when you farm and have hobbies and kids and make YouTube videos? What's the balance like? Is there such a thing for you?
I think the YouTube videos is the back of the things to do list.
So it makes your
So-
work-life balance a little easier when you're not held to the fire of I need
Yeah.
to do this video, I need to get this out.
Yeah, it's not like anyone's saying we have to do 3 videos a week, what's the longest we've gone? 10 days maybe? 2 weeks almost without a video?
Yeah.
And then you start getting messages like, everything okay?
Yeah.
Like, you guys all right? People wonder what's going on.
Isn't that weird to think about? You're just living your life like normal, but they don't see you, so they wonder
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yep.
But we also are not. We don't have to keep a schedule. It doesn't have to be every Saturday and every Wednesday we're posting. If they like us, they'll stick around. If they don't, it's fine.
The hardest part about passing it off to someone else to edit is like, I can't control that then.
Yeah.
And then if like, oh, we got it edited, you want to look at it? Oh, like, can you change this? Can you change that? Can you change that? And then all of a sudden it's like, well, I just spent as much time on it if I would have done it myself.
And paid a bunch of money for the
Yeah.
privilege of
Yep.
burning that time.
Yep. So both, like when I started it, Amy was like, well, you're going to do this right. Like, don't just make it look cheap.
Yep.
Like do a good job on editing. Like I'll usually edit it or whatever, and she'll always final it and make sure the audio is the same level.
Sure.
So it's not something's really loud. You can't hear the next clip. Like that's our big thing is just make sure that it looks neat and finished.
Yep.
So like to have someone go through all of that and us to proof it again, like
Well, and it costs
I don't
money,
know.
and I just think we're not making enough off of the channel to.
yeah, at this
Vouch
point,
for
at this
pink,
point,
yeah.
maybe you would if you were trying to put out 3 videos a week every week. Then it would probably
Mm-hmm.
cover that, but then we're still probably making enough money to cover it.
Yeah.
Than what we're
Breaking
making
even.
now.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have the control. You know what
Yeah.
you know what it's going to be like, and the parts that you care about most are going to stay in and not get
Yeah.
cut out. Oh, that makes perfect
If
sense.
it's just Tim and I working together and stuff, I can probably take that 15, 20-minute video and have it done in 2 hours.
Okay.
So, I mean,
We have long drives to town too,
Yep.
Yeah.
and I can have a whole hour to edit in the car.
In the front seat. Why not?
when the drone stuff gets involved, and that's when stuff that probably adds another hour.
Okay.
But I think
Just
that's
a
some of the
3-minute
neatest stuff. Yeah.
A 3-minute drone clip can take an hour just to get all the beat
Music
and the
to time. And
yeah,
I think
this-
that's important. Some people don't care.
Yeah. No.
But and that's the neat thing about it too, is there's amongst all the YouTube channels, everybody's is so different.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like some of them have camaraderie and are real funny, and some of them are very informative and drier maybe. And I don't know, it's just, pretty neat.
I'm with you
but-
on the if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Take a little bit of time and make it a lot better.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah. So
I know we've talked about how, work-life balance and how you handle it all. What about de-stressing? How do you handle stress? Not just from doing both, but, farming and having kids and all that stuff. I know you mentioned Cancun, but what else is a stress reliever?
I think-
for you guys?
Do I get stressed?
no, Tony has a very solid faith, and
Okay.
so I think that plays into a lot of it. I probably stress more than he does.
I'm always like, we'll figure it out tomorrow.
We'll
yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah,
If it's broke, we'll fix it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But we spend a lot of time on the lake
Yes,
in the summer.
and that is they have always taken Sundays off, except for a few random Mother's Day Sundays, and then
Work-
they get hailed out that year. So
Work on
they've
Sundays.
learned. Okay, Lord.
We do on Monday, right?
Okay,
like
yeah,
that's kind of the
Yeah.
saying. So, no, I think that helps a lot because you're just not. What day is it? Like if you worked all spring and didn't take a Sunday off, like you would get lost on.
Yep.
Tuesday might be Thursday or whatever, but Sunday kind of a good reset. That's
Family time.
Yeah,
and-
that's our. If it's calm and the lake's warm enough, we'll be at the lake on a Sunday afternoon after church, and
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
I don't know.
There's
I'm
busy
pretty
seasons.
easygoing.
Yeah, there's busy seasons, and there's the chill, and he's really good about spending time with us in the chill and those calmer times when we're not going.
Yeah.
And even when it is busy, we seem to be in the field enough. We're still together in some aspect. So
That's good.
yeah.
They'll
don't know.
help us move equipment, and like for us to move from one farm to the next, some of them are 20 miles from one farm to the next. So, I mean, it's air seeder and sprayer and spray truck and seed trucks and service truck, and everyone's
Not a lot of that moves very fast.
no. And then so it's the kids are helping move the service truck or
Mm-hmm.
the pickups and stuff like that. So then the younger one, Macy, will hops in the combine a lot and help when I move. to the
I think this next
field,
year
so-
she'll be
Nice.
tall enough finally to do something.
Yeah, but I mean, just they can ride along and
Yep.
gonna spend time together.
Perfect.
So
But yeah, the lake, we love to ski in the winter, and we do the perk of homeschool, which it's not the way we went into the whole homeschool thing, but when Tony's got some downtime in the winter and not hauling grain, we split,
Okay.
find places to go and get away, and we love to travel, road trip. Yeah, we're board game players too.
Got it all.
But yeah,
Gotta have something. Yeah. Well, sometimes the weather's just awful up here. I mean,
yep,
probably worse for you guys if.
we
Big
love the
blizzard
snow
comes
though
in.
too. Yeah,
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 How
sledding.
far away are you from good skiing?
5-6 hours at the shortest.
Good skiing, I would. I mean, I
8 hours.
You're in
for
the
good
Red
stuff.
River Valley right now. There's you can watch a
Isn't
dog
there
run
a
away for
couple?
5 miles.
Isn't there
Yeah.
a couple hills over here? Too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
in Minnesota, like little
Something
ones.
like that.
yeah. I moved from Nebraska to Colorado to ski and
Okay.
then teach on the side. And so good skiing, I would say, is like 7 or 8 hours, but we are good with like 4.5 away, 4.5 or 5 hours is.
Yeah.
The girls aren't excellent yet.
Sure.
So, it's good. It's fun.
That's awesome. If you could do it all over again, knowing what you know now, would you?
Like the social media side of stuff?
Yeah, that side of things. Yeah, you're kind of into it for farming.
I
don't you
think
have another
so.
choice, but
Yeah, I think we would do it. Would we do? I don't know if we would have even done it different.
I don't know.
I think
what-
the way
yeah,
it's,
how-
I don't know what to have changed to do it different.
that's good.
It's been very organic. That's like the terminology these days, it seems like. And I think it's beautiful. Yeah.
The biggest challenge is finding something to record on that stands up.
To the conditions.
Yeah,
Yep.
like we use GoPros, but they're always glitching.
Really.
They freeze, or they'll stop recording, or the batteries freeze in the cold weather. They'll shut off. Like that's the biggest challenge. Phone microphones aren't any good. They
Yeah.
aren't good enough for background noise. Like that's honestly the biggest challenge. Is
Durable equipment.
yeah, like Zach uses a point and shoot camera that's for vlogging, but yet dust gets in it, and it's weird. It's like
This is some harsh conditions. I mean, it's
oh yeah,
hot, cold, dusty, wet,
Yep.
snow. That's
Yep.
crazy.
Vibrate. What's a piece? Put a camera on a piece of equipment, and it vibrates, and I mean it's just
Mount comes loose or inside.
We haven't lost a camera yet.
That's good.
We drove one over, but that's about it.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's probably the biggest challenge. If we could figure out which camera stands at best.
That'd be the
But-
one. Invest in that.
Yeah,
What's next for Fast Ag Montana?
I have no idea.
Don't know.
No plans.
That's so nice. There's no pressure.
But
I
hold
know.
on now. If I told you,
And then,
why would
Where's
anybody
the
watch?
surprise?
Yeah,
That's fair.
oh my goodness.
Completely fair.
Oh gosh.
but no, yeah, that's
I don't know if we're huge goal setters.
no.
Are we? Yeah.
I wouldn't say so.
It's all right.
Yep.
This isn't planned. Like this is just what happens.
That's cool.
So
Yeah, we're
Yep.
kind of go with the flow. Never know who you're going to meet along the way, where that's going to take you.
Right?
So that's the fun of it, I think. I never thought going into this, we have made a lot of our winter or fall road trips into going to see other farmers in other parts of the country, how they do things. And I never thought that I would love doing that. Oh my gosh, that's so much fun.
Makes sense. You're connecting with people that have a lot in common, but
Yeah.
enough different to be interesting.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think one of my favorite trips was when we saw a buddy of ours down in Texas, and we went down to his oasis in the desert, pretty much.
Yeah.
But seeing how he went about things, and yeah, it just to think about year-round farming. Oh, we are blessed to be.
Have a little break.
The mosquitoes freeze, and we can
They take
Slow down.
Thanksgiving. No, they take Christmas to New Year's off
yeah.
about
That's
it?
all. I think
That's
that's
it.
their staff that take
because
off.
they're by El Paso,
Okay.
down like way south, and yeah, like they're cutting
Year-round
alfalfa
farming.
10 months out of the year. It's I'm glad we have a break.
Yep, I'll take the Montana cold
Right.
for sure.
Over 360 days of
Yes.
work, right?
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's awesome. That's why you guys don't have much for livestock.
That's right. I know.
That's awesome.
We got smart. No.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for being at the Full Pod with Crary, and looking forward to what else we have in store for the next day or so.
Yeah, looking forward to it too.
I think you're going to have a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
Thanks, Al.
You bet. Thank you guys.
Yep.
Yep. You're welcome.